Kristen, is there anything for public forum? Nothing for public forum. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our regular meeting on August 15th. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any corrections? If not, could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is communications and actions. And I'm going to read this letter addressed to Mayor Ellen and the Board of Trustees. I'm hereby submitting my intent to retire from full-time service with the Village of Green Island and the Green Island Power Authority effective September 30th, 2022. My decision is based on securing my retirement after 46 years and to enjoy time with my growing family. I've had the honor and pleasure of serving alongside 5 mayors, especially Mayor Ellen, who has been our mayor for almost 20 years, along with the many trustees who have served over the years and appointed officials. I truly love my work family that I've been part of over the years. They truly are special people. It has been an honor to be part of the village team and to have witnessed many accomplishments of our officials. I wish to continue to serve in part-time capacity if you will have me. I feel that it is truly fitting to submit my letter of intent to retire on my anniversary date. I came in on that day at 9 o'clock in the morning and met with Bernie Davenport and started my time with the village at 9:30. Thank you for all the kindness and memories that you have extended to me and my family, and hoping to continue to serve to the best of my ability for several more years. Sincerely, Ann M. Strizzi. Now, Ann didn't want the letter read. We went through this at the Power Authority meeting because the letter had to be read into the minutes of both. But as I stated earlier, Ann, your devotion to this village, your loyalty, your work ethic, everything, it's unmatched. It couldn't be better. And I'm very proud to have worked with you for several decades now. And as I said, and I'm going to ask the board, we will accept your resignation from full-time employment as long as you promise to come back and work part-time.
I'm comfortable.
Okay. Okay, does the board have anything they want to say?
Just thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all you can say. Thank you.
Thank you, and I
Thanks.
understand you're not big on law or anything, but I've talked to several people over the 7 years I've been doing this, and often it's, I'll check with Ann and find out, like the
Yes.
Encyclopedia
The
Britannica.
institutional knowledge that she has is unbelievable.
And
So.
part-time's 35 hours a week, right?
Exactly.
We're working on
that.
Well, she's got a new grandbaby about to
I know, yeah.
arrive very soon,
Yep.
so I know where some of her time is going to be spent. Spoiling the kid, I hope. So, could I have a motion to accept Ann's resignation from full-time employment with the stipulation that she will come back and work part-time?
So
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. See, Ann, that wasn't that bad.
No.
And we have another letter.
Dear Village Board, we are requesting a curb cut for off-street parking. Our intent is to erect a garage which will be placed toward the front northwest corner of the yard. The garage is 24 feet by 24 feet. We will be adding a driveway, and material to be used will be concrete. The fire hydrant is approximately 90 feet from property line. The intersection of George Street and Tibbetts Ave is approximately 90 feet from property line. Street sign is located approximately, I didn't see that,
64 feet.
64 feet. There will be no disturbances of utilities. The yard has been staked and can be inspected at any time. Attached is a plot plan for your review. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us. And it's submitted and signed sincerely, Eugene and Cynthia Coca, property owners of 191 George Street.
I'll order it filed and we'll address it later on in the agenda. Next is the approval of claims. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? Now, can I have a motion to pay the bills?
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the police activity report. Everyone has a copy. Anyone have any comments? If not, I'd ask that we accept the police activity report.
Make a motion to accept the police report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the fire department report. Everyone has a copy. I have a motion to accept.
So
Make the motion?
Did you get that one, Ian?
Rick and Rachel.
Okay. All in favor?
Monkey in the middle.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the submittal of the monthly report of the treasurer. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? Maggie and Michelle can answer. If not, could I have a motion to accept the monthly report of the treasurer?
Make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did we get a second on that?
Mary and Sheila.
Okay. Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly report of the Parking Violations Bureau. There's nothing this month. I don't think we've ever had a month where there was nothing.
No.
Could I have a motion to accept the report that says nothing?
Make the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of adjustments to water and sewer. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to make the adjustments?
Make the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Finally getting to you guys. Next is consideration of a curb cut request for 191 George Street. Mag, I don't know if you want to comment, you went up and...
Sure, so Todd, Ward, and myself went up and we took the, schematic that they provided and just verified, that all the information in there was accurate. They do have plenty of space for the curb cut. The one issue that we ran into is that our maximum requirements for a curb cut, the maximum curb cut is 12 feet. So we've talked to both Cindy and Jean about the size of the curb cut, but other than that, they have plenty of space, and what they provided is accurate.
And it will work with the 12-foot curb cut.
We were hoping to get more, but if we have to go with 12, we will. We're not 24
Well, it's a
foot
two-car
curb,
garage.
two-car
Yeah.
garage, and you can only go 12 feet, so you'll be driving up the curb, but, I mean, I know the laws are laws, but it'll work, they don't have to.
The curb,
Does the board have any questions?
the curb has to be provided to DPW. It's ours.
Yes, the curb, to remove the curb is at your expense, and the curb belongs to the village, so the curb is to be given back to the village of Green Island, but we'll cover all the following requirements through the building permit process.
Alright, we turned that in to Todd tonight.
Oh, perfect.
Tommy Connolly's doing the concrete and
Okay.
the curb cut.
Okay.
So I understand he's familiar with
Yeah.
what has to be done, so.
Perfect.
Does the board have any questions or comments?
I do, so they can only get a curb cut for 12 feet for a 24-foot garage? That's,
You kind of share.
really? That's just weird. I mean,
So we instituted guidelines 2015, 16-ish,
Oh.
give or take.
Okay.
The minimum requirements are 10 by 20 and the max is 12 by 22. And I don't think there's stipulations to go back on that.
why was that ever put like that before?
I think it was put that way because we have such a shortage of on-street parking in Green Island. That people
Okay.
have these big curb cuts, and it's illegal to park in front of a curb cut.
Right,
That we're gonna have people that don't have any place to park their car.
okay.
And all the ones that are bigger than that in Green Island are grandfathered from decades ago. And actually, most of the time, in recent years, when somebody's come for a curb cut, they've been denied. So,
Yeah, they happen to be on a block that probably could,
Yeah,
stand a big curb cut.
I'll see George
But
next door, that's it.
it would be setting a precedence that would be hard for us to enforce going forward with other properties. If we didn't have some type of standard.
I just asked them a
if
question.
you were to ask for this on any other block, especially along Hudson Avenue, because the parking is so horrendous, especially on the block between Swan Street and Center Street.
Yeah,
I mean, it's tough. They're all over the streets, so. If there are no other comments, could I have a motion to approve the curb cut?
Make a motion
I'll make
to
the
approve.
motion.
Okay? we
I'll
got two
second
yeas.
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. You're good.
Thank you.
Next is consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the intermunicipal agreement and memorandum of understanding as a member of the Stormwater Coalition, extending our municipal separate storm sewer system speedies permit for another 5 years through December 31st of 2027.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. So the IMU that we have with Albany County Stormwater Coalition is a 5-year term. It's expiring at the end of this year. So we're asking to enter, to remain as a member of the Stormwater Coalition. The new IMU, the basics are the same, however, the fee structure is different. So there's a fee for basic services, and then an additional fee for additional services. The additional services would be GIS services. So we will need GIS services. We still have all the stormwater infrastructure on Lower Hudson Avenue and Hudson Avenue, Starbuck Island to still map. So by entering into this agreement, we currently pay $4,704 to be a member. It does increase to $6,350. Which is about a $1,600 increase. However, but for those mapping services and for the services they provide us in general, it's still a win-win for us to be a part of that coalition.
It's an annual fee, correct?
It's an annual fee. And
Yeah.
our mapping services, the fee for mapping services may change year to year depending on our needs. Right now, we do have a need for mapping, so we have to pay the additional fee.
Does anyone on the board have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing me to execute the?
Make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of acknowledging the 30-day expiration on lead agency on the proposed Factory Town project. Ag, you want to comment?
Sure, so in July, we had an agenda item where we acted, and it was our intent to act as lead agent for the Factory Town development. We then had to go on and notice all the interested parties, and we've done that. The 30 days for which they had to reply to speak up if they wanted to be lead agent has since expired. We received one notice, and that was from New York State Department of Transportation in regards to suggestions on traffic studies. But at this point, we are now able to move forward and declare that we will act as lead agent.
Does anyone have any questions?
Hopefully I have that right, Alita.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to acknowledge the 30-day expiration on the lead agency.
Make the motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of authorizing the village board to act as the lead agent for the proposed Factory Town project. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of bids received for the Payne Street Park Conservation Improvement Project. You want to comment on it?
Sure, so we put out a quick RFP for this project. This is the project that will remove the blacktop sidewalks throughout Payne Street Park that no longer serve a purpose. We sent the RFP to 4 potential contractors. We had one response. The one sole bidder was Louisi Companies. Their contract amount was $19,350, which will, the grant we received is for $20,000, so the grant will cover the project in its entirety.
So when we take out the blacktop and we put topsoil and grass, we get points, right? in the-
Yes, for
the-
stormwater.
For stormwater, so. Does anyone have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to award the bid to Louisi for $19,350?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly recap submitted by the GIPA and DPW crew from August 11th.
August 11th.
Through September 8th. Everyone has a copy.
Busy.
Busy little beavers.
Busy.
Yeah. they're doing a good job, so could I have a motion, just to accept their recap?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? And it's carried. Do we have any other business? If not, I just want to go to board forum. I'll let Matt go first, commenting on the Cohoes Avenue project.
Sure, so we had hoped to have, awarding a contractor for the Cohoes Ave project on this month's agenda. We had the bid opening on Thursday, and the bid amounts were, much higher than we expected and much higher than the money we have available as far as the grant is concerned. So what we are doing now as far as next steps is we are, going through the bid proposals, and checking them for accuracy, and the amounts. We may have to go back and redesign some areas of the project, but our first attempt is going to be to go back to the state and see if there's another pool of money that we can pull from. So I hope to have more of an update in October. We are working on it. Unfortunately, we're gonna lose a construction season this year, but if we can get it all straightened out, we'll be ready to go first thing in the spring.
I wanted to talk to the board about something we've been thinking about. We're having issues with speeders in Green Island, and somebody had talked about Arch Street, and there may be some things going on Arch Street, but George Street is much worse. Tibbetts Avenue is kind of tough. But George Street is actually a pretty dangerous situation. When they're getting out of school, dropping off their kids or picking them up after school at Heatley, when they turn on Bleecker to come out onto George, my kitchen window is right there, my sink, and I'm there a lot. The near miss, well, the accidents that we've had and the near misses, one of our police officers has been trying to go up days and kind of help traffic get out. I really would like to see a four-way stop at that corner, at Bleecker and George. The other place I would like to see a four-way stop is at George and Clinton Street. We have emergency police vehicles coming out onto George Street and emergency fire trucks coming out onto George Street. And anyone who drives in Green Island knows it's really tough to see up and down those streets.
Oh, it's just with the parked cars, it's been tough forever.
Yeah.
And there's so many SUVs and trucks and everything else now that are so much taller. And the other place that we've had issues with is Arch Street at James. So what we'd like to do is, I wanted to get some feedback from some of the board members tonight. If we do anything on George Street, we have to do it through the county because that's a county road. So, and you know, Sean has told us they're not happy about putting in stop signs, and I said, well, we're talking about safety at school and safety for our police and fire department, and it has to slow traffic down a little bit. So I don't know if anybody has any pros or cons for.
I think it's a good idea, but also could we maybe try and get the DPW, as busy as they are, to start painting some of these curbs again? So paint the yellow down. I don't know how far it's got to be, 15 feet or something like that. Because a lot of it you can't see.
Right.
It doesn't mean you should park right up at the corner anyway, but people do if they don't see it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's something we could, maybe the bad intersections first, maybe Clinton and George.
Yeah.
Have them start there with those four, and, you know, Tony will love me for this, but.
It's on camera, for you.
Alan, on George, where the firehouse is and everything, the concern is more the fire department than the police? Because the reason I'm saying that, in some communities such as Niskayuna, they have a stoplight. So when the fire trucks are coming out for an emergency, they flip the switch, and it's a stoplight, it's a green light for them, and a stoplight for everybody else, and it's green all the time. I mean, that's just
But the
observation.
police department comes out much more often than the fire department does.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they don't always come out for an emergency. What I'm saying, but stop signs do. I'm just saying, what they do, like in this unit, is they have, and a lot of them, is they flip the switch and it just stops it on the main drag.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm saying. That's another concept.
Well, if we do get this to work, I would really like to get the stop signs that have the lights that are around them, that flash, especially putting in new stop signs where people aren't used to them. If you remember, it took when we put them up at Cannon Street,
You put the
a
flag.
lot of people
Took a
went
while.
crazy, but that really slowed down traffic on Tibbetts. Yeah, Ian didn't like the stop signs. But, you know, like I said, I see a lot out my kitchen window, and the kids going back and forth on their bikes, don't even, on Bleecker Street, going from one park to the other, they don't even look to see if anything's coming. We're gonna have somebody get killed, and then we'll put up stop signs, so I'd rather put up the stop signs first.
I had a class crossing the other day from the park. I think that maybe they should have a stop sign in their hand, because the teachers just kept walking.
Yeah.
And the kids are coming, following them.
Well, I
So
watch some of
somebody
the
should be-
teachers will actually stand in the middle of the road and they'll stop the traffic before the kids come out. I still have one that says stop funeral, I could probably get it. I kept it as a memento.
Stop or there will be.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but that's a suggestion we could make, because it wouldn't hurt to,
For their protection.
yeah, yeah. Any other comments?
Write it down.
Come on.
Oh, that's right, Chris is back
I
here.
didn't realize you were still there.
And if you think of anything, you know, sometimes you get home and you go, oh, you know what, and just give me a call, or give Maggie a call. Just a note too, the old police car that we had that we replaced with the new one, we thought we were gonna get 15,000 from the sheriff's department for it, but we got 17,000, so that helped for the setup of some of the other stuff that had to go on to the new car, so.
Or plate reader.
Anybody else have anything?
I just wanna say the picnic in the park, I think, went
Yeah,
really well.
it was outstanding,
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
it was good, yes.
I mean, even before COVID, we had more people there that night than we've
Yeah.
had the last few years before
Well,
COVID.
Maggie thought the problem was weekends. People just, they have things planned on the weekends and they don't, you know, you're doing it right in the middle of the day.
I did hear we didn't have a french fry or
The french
fried
I
sauce
know.
and stuff, so.
But the Little League appreciated it, because then you
Oh,
had
I'm
to
sure,
support
yeah,
them, and they
yeah.
did really well, which
Yeah,
is good, because
yeah.
they needed the support, so, yeah.
And that
we'll-
came from my daughters, they were.
I'll take that into consideration.
I asked for the french fries too, Rick.
Did you?
My first question, are we having french fries?
In the dog bowl?
That wouldn't
Yeah.
take away from the,
No,
from the
'cause they don't
League,
sell
though.
that,
No,
yeah.
no.
At the risk of dragging this out another minute, I really have to say, Ian, you and I think, are the oldest people, longest serving in the village. You're a year before me, right?
76 and you're 77.
My God, where'd the years go? But I think I learned more from you than you ever could have learned from me. And you are absolutely phenomenal intellect. You have the ability to store information which is greater than any person that I've ever met in my lifetime.
Thank you.
And I just, all kudos to you. And God bless me, you live another 50 years and enjoy every minute of it with the family.
I hope so. Thank you.
The reason that he appreciates how you can remember things is because we can't
We
anymore.
can't.
Okay, our next meeting is October 17th. It's 6:20 or thereabouts. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you, everybody, for your patience tonight.